I'm gonna,
You
know what? I'm gonna jump in here. We're talking about the history of biology. I'm gonna jump in here
with another fact or
no.
multiple
I'm gonna
choice?
jump in here with an evolutionary fact.
Ooh.
Yeah, I want to talk about the father of evolutionary theory, Charles Darwin.
Yeah. Very good.
I think it's very important because Charles Darwin for me is a fascinating person because he was very religious. And, he discovered the theory of evolution and then he came back to England after discovering it and he didn't talk about it for like 20 years before he finally announced it because he was afraid it would break, his religion. It would break with the creation. Like it sat with him so heavily.
Pissed
In
a
the
lot
end,
of people off.
Yeah, and in the end he only published it because someone else was going
Was about to. They asked him to review it, didn't they?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think that's how it worked. But my favorite fact about him has nothing to do with any of this. My favorite fact about him is that Charles Darwin, when he was at Cambridge, was a member of a club called the Glutton Society that was basically designed around eating birds and beasts that had not seen a human palate. So basically any kind of weird animal. And he said we should never eat an owl. He said an owl tastes disgusting.
It's fucking funny.
I mean, I can see.
Is that the fact?
That's the fact. He was part of a club called the Glutton Club. In which they used to just eat weird animals.
Mr. True or false it? Mr.
You must true or false it. Yeah.
I would say that it is true, but I don't think it was called the Glutton Club. So overall, I'd say it's a false fact.
It is a true fact. It was called the Glutton
Seriously?
Club. Yeah. It was. But I mean, I love the dude. Even when he was on the Beagle, right? Like, which is a ship that he did his tour to the Galapagos on. Even when he was there, they were eating all the animals they found.
Good
like
Lord.
He ate on that trip. They ate 45 Galapagos tortoises. Yeah, and in fact, Galapagos tortoise became like this big delicacy for fishers because it had a lot of water in it. So you could eat the meat and then you could also become rehydrated.
Good grief.
Yeah, and apparently quite tasty. He ate, we don't know what it is, but he ate what he called a large brown rodent that was the most delicious food he'd ever eaten.
Really?
Yeah. He ate a puma. He liked the taste of puma.
Good grief, man.
The taste of puma. But my favorite is that he ate a bird called a lesser rhea, and a rhea is like a kind of a large ostrichy type bird from South America.
Really?
But there's two of them. There's
flightless.
Yes, yeah. So there's two of them. There's the greater rhea and the lesser rhea, and they bought a lesser rhea at one of the stops, intended for Christmas dinner, and then they ate the lesser rhea for Christmas dinner, and it was only upon eating it that he realized, and they were already on their way back to England, that he realized, oh shit, I actually don't have this particular species, and we've just eaten the only one. So then he salvaged the scraps off the table. So the Natural History Museum got a head and feet and some of the birds' feathers and stuff. But like yeah, he ate like everything.
It's a bit quirky of him, hey? I mean, like, was the Glutton Society a serious thing, or was it a take the piss society?
No, I get the sense it was kind of one of those David Cameron clubs, where you're like, oh, you're very upper class and you do these things in a very upper class society because it's a bit wacky, we're somewhat what cards we are. Let us all eat an owl. It's sort of that, like it gives me that vibe, but yeah, he did it. It was a real thing.
There's a Bill Bryson book where he talks about one of the, because back then Church of England folk had the good, they lived the good life, lived in parish, and you had a parish, and then you just did your sermon once a week, but then you got lovely house and lots of benefits, and it was great. And the one he chronicled all the food he ate as just for fun as a diary, and there was even things like owl on the
yeah
crazy.
But yeah, apparently owl is disgusting, so don't eat an owl.
Okay.
Like
What
leave the
hardy
owls
dog
alone.
tastes like, because they deserve to be eaten.
There's a lovely menu on the internet for how to cook a hardy dog.
Good grief!
Yeah,
Really.
it goes like this. What you do is you take a hardy dog and you put it in a cast iron pot, and you boil it until the pot goes soft. Then you throw away the hardy dog and you eat the pot. That's how it works.
It's awesome.
Yeah.